Tommy, I need guidance if you don't mind. I'm in a bad mindset. You know what I do whenever I feel like crap? I watch Star Trek. I watch old 80s and 90s commercials. I eat stuff that I know I'm going to like. I do things that I know I have positive experiences associated with it, because what I have to do is, at that point, if I'm really not in a great mental place, I need to self-regulate. And sometimes when we're so used to getting our charge from other people, especially those people around us that we depend on or that we expected would follow through or be there for us, and it feels like they are not, and they're disappointing us and they're breaking our hearts, which I feel a lot of this that you're dealing with has to do with just feeling really lonely and brokenhearted, and like people aren't showing up when they need to show up, especially in the area of romance, relationship, love. And I feel like sometimes it is really easy to detach and disconnect ourselves from reality when we start to give into the voice that's been there since we were little, telling us that we're worthless and that we're crap and that we have nothing to offer. When we are treated a certain way, or we have an experience with someone that is breaking our heart or that disappoints us and leaves us feeling completely screwed, it only makes that voice louder. And I'm sick of that bitch in my head. She ain't got nothing good to say, and all she does is piss me off. And so I just learned to use that anger as a motivator for change and transformation. But before I can get to anger, I have to kind of get to a place of peace with feeling like shit. So I do things that I know I am going to feel okay, and I'm going to appreciate, and I'm going to value. It's just an automatic, like, okay, if I watch Star Trek, I'm going to feel a little bit better. If I go have that burger, okay, I'm not going to do it every day, but it's going to make me feel a little bit better. If I go for a walk, it may not solve my problems, but at least that physical activity and seeing the vistas and the views here will make me feel a little bit better. So even if it doesn't get me out of the mental hole that I'm in, if it makes me feel a little bit better, what I try to do is I try to climb out of this place of despair and disappointment and sadness, and I try to climb into anger. Because when I get pissed off, I use anger as a tool and a motivator to make things happen. I make changes in my life. I do things because I'm like fired up and I'm like, that's it, I'm done with this shit. And then I make the change and it actually gets better. So I use anger as a tool instead of letting it turn me into a disgusting, ugly version of myself. I use it to turn me into a powerful force that you don't want to reckon with. So what I would say to you is, you got to climb out of this place of despair and get a little bit higher into a place of feeling like you have some power, and anger is one of those emotions. So you have things to prove to yourself. Don't expect the people that you've been depending on or waiting to rise up and to be there for you. That is okay. Because if we can learn to walk the path alone and still be okay, doesn't mean you have to be alone forever, but if you can be okay for a little bit and do it alone, that is okay. And that's necessary in some instances. There are things that I've done in my life where I didn't have people support. I mean, even just my work, what I do for a living now, I didn't have people support. Everybody was giving me the opposite of what I needed. I wanted people to say, yeah, you could do this, or yeah, you can make this happen, or yeah, you have the ability to do that. I've seen you, use your skills and your abilities as a psychic and a medium. I didn't get any of that. I got like, well, are you sure you want to leave a full-time job at Starbucks with benefits to do that? Do you want to take the risk? You got a mortgage to pay for. I knew what I could do, and I wasn't willing to let things stay the same way. So I decided I was going to do it with or without people's support. And I was like, fuck it. If I'm the first psychic medium to make a living out of this and do this full time and do the thing that I enjoy doing, I've had so much passion doing, if I can do that, and then I'll be the first. If not, I will gladly fall flat on my face and I will pick myself up because I know how to fix my problems, and I will get back to doing something else that will get me stable. But I need to try and fail. And if I can't fail, then what the hell am I doing? And so at least I'm willing to fail if I try something. And I think you're so used to things going the same way and operating in the same way, and you're expecting people to contribute to the change in your life and to your happiness. And I would say stop waiting for that, because that's a waste of time. And I think you have everything you need to make those changes now. With that being said, I do think financially there is a shift in about 4 months, which I think is going to make a difference for you. So right around Christmas, I feel like financially something starts to climb up and you start to feel like you've got a little more control. I don't think you need to worry as much or focus as much on working with other people and on dealing with other people. And I think that's going to help you out some. That's in 4 months. Right now, just give up on expecting too much from people. A fish isn't going to fly. They're flying fish, but a fish isn't going to fly. So there's no point in trying to expect that to happen.